Let me talk about going forward and moving forward here just for a moment, because I do have a lot of people that's that they listen to me, and they actually trust in some of the wisdom that I provide simply because I have tenure in this. Since living on the community, I've had a lot of ups and I've had a lot of downs. I've had a lot of successes and a lot of failures. But let me say this: I've had, or the ups outweigh the downs significantly. I'm talking like maybe 90%, 10%. That would be the ratio. Successes over failures, same thing. 90% over 10%. I remember some time ago, and I've always told the people that we're living in a time now where everything that can be shaken will be shaken. And of course, the things that will be shaken or can be shaken, it's for a purpose and a reason to remove them and take them out of the way. Do you remember Y2K? I remember Y2K. The turn of the year 2000. And they was predicting all these catastrophic events, computer failures, and the coming of Messiah. A lot of people was telling people that Jesus was coming, all this, and I didn't buy into it. I told the people nothing's going to happen. This is going to be another day that comes and goes, just like every other day. But a lot of people put their hope in thinking that this was it, and so a lot of people made moves to try to get out of the cities, to come to communities, under the guise, because they were moving for fear, to save their hide from the upcoming pending economic judgment and the upcoming pending collapse of America, and waiting on the return of the Messiah. I didn't buy into it then, and I don't buy into it now. We still have a little time left, given the biblical calendar, which I actually pay more attention to than whatever is going on in the world, because you can look at these events and just about peg and tie anything to prophecy and literally go crazy and stark raving mad, which a lot of people have done. And so every year it seems like we have the same thing going on and over and over and over again. We have people predicting dates, and it never comes to pass. The only thing that they're doing is wearing out the patience of the saints. Now, if you go to the Bible, you'll find out that there's a particular spirit or entity that seeks to wear out the patience of the saints. And once you find out who that is, then you'll understand the reason why Pastor Dow, I don't care how many people jump on the bandwagon. We had people just this year predicting all these events and all these things was coming. And of course, I made no apologies for it whatsoever at all. I told you that, we have a new kind of a spirit that's operating in the time that we're in today. Because so many prophecies from these false prophets have failed, they're running damage control today. In other words, they're saving face or saving hide. So they never tell you, thus saith, and I'm going to use the English terms we're familiar with, thus saith the Lord. They never say that. And the reason why they never say that is because they don't want to put their name out there and put their hide out there, because they've seen, or they have saw over the years, how many people have literally castrated and literally murdered with their words a lot of people who have predicted dates and it never come to pass. A lot of people who put their trust in these people who's supposed to be some type of prognosticators, which they would never meant that. I just call them false prophets. And, people develop a heightened sense of awareness, and they begin to get have a flight state up on them, and they start trusting in these people. And then they start making all these moves, kind of like William Miller did at 1844 with the Seventh-day Adventists, when everybody sold everything they had, went up on top of a mountain waiting on the coming of Messiah, and then they went back and wanted to buy back or get back everything that they had or their lifestyle back, because when it didn't happen, it overthrew their faith. And that's what we're dealing with today. We're dealing with a particular spirit or entity that is doing whatever it can to wear out the patience of the saints, to overthrow the faith of many. And so when you have all these people are predicting prophecy without saying, thus saith the Lord, they're presenting it to you as if it's thus saith the Lord, but they're not saying it, because when it doesn't take place, they leave themselves wiggle room so that they can go out and false prophesy again. And I can understand that people really truly desire the day of the Most High Yah. But the scriptures is clear. It's a day of darkness. It's a day of gloominess. It's a day of dread. It's a day of terror. It's a day of fear, like people would never ever experience before in their lives. So we're watching things being shaken. People are going to be shaken in mind. They're going to be troubled in spirit. The hearts are going to grow weary and faint. You're going to find out that a lot of friendships, relationships, brothers, sisters, family members, you're going to find out that a lot of these things are going to be challenged to the brink, and most of them, if not all of them, are going to end up failing because of the type of spirit that we're in now. It's a war, and there are a lot of casualties in war, and there's a lot of collateral damage in war, and it's to be expected because that's exactly what it is. Most people are not familiar with what we're faced with today because they simply do not understand war, especially the spiritual war, because they would rather have a logical, rational answer that they can concoct and come up with in their mind, rather than actually receiving the truth from the Holy Spirit, the Ruah himself. And so you're going to have people, you're going to find out, just like it says in the book of Acts, if this thing be of Yah, you cannot overthrow it. You can speak against it, you can come against it, you can do whatever you want, but it will not be overthrown. But if it is not of Yah, or what you people call God, then you happily, if it's not of Yah, then it's gonna come to pass. It's gonna be destroyed, and you'll know the difference. And I can tell you right now, I've been out here on Straightway, moving this way. I've been moving this way 18, 19 years. Been living out here probably about 16 years, and people, I guess, are still holding their breath, waiting on me to fail on this community. This is my home. I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this place. And that's just all it is to it. So, you have a lot of people that are sitting back and not doing anything, passing judgments on those who do have the faith to do something. And they believe themselves to be a subject matter expert. So there's much to be desired. There's a lot to be said. But, if we're going to stick with exactly what the book says, it says, the blessed ones are not the hearers. And there are a lot of people that are hearing. But the blessed ones, when it comes to the word, are the ones that are the doers of the words. These are the ones that will be blessed. And we have very little of that, if any. So we're finding out that a lot of chemistry in relationships, a lot of chemistry when people who desire to want to do these community things, it's just not there. When challenges present itself, when iron starts sharpening iron, when you start meeting a grindstone to where there's a disagreement that takes place, you're finding out that people are divorcing, they're separating themselves from Israel. And I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. How can you be part of Israel when you deny the very existence of the people, and you just simply cannot get along with Israel, but you choose the options of the world? We'll run away and go somewhere else and establish our own work. Now, does the Most High still love you both? Sure he does, but it's just like anything else. He made provisions for that in the Torah. And there's a lot of things that I'm going to be preaching and teaching in the upcoming months. It's going to shake you to your very core and your very foundation. If you're simple, you're going to faint. I'm telling you right now in advance, and I want you to make a note of this video to know that I called it in advance, well before it even happened. And you're going to go on believing and thinking that you're right in your own eyes, because many people are going to reject the wisdom of Yah, and they're going to value their own opinion above his wisdom. And people are going to actually take more stock in their opinion above facts. Now, we may all be entitled to our own opinion, but we're definitely not all entitled to our own facts, and neither can we establish our own facts. We are supposed to be supporters of the truth in Torah, and when it's all said and done, we're going to find out whether we like it or not, whether we hear or forbear. And I'm going to prophesy to the wind each and every day. Those who be Yisrael and those who are not. And there's a lot of judgments that's coming down on the land, a lot of judgments that's coming down on the people. Whether people like it, lump it, understand it or not is totally irrelevant. It makes no difference whatsoever at all, because everything that is going to happen and everything that is going to take place is going to take place. It's going to take place whether you like it, lump it, can deal with it or not. And nobody's going to stop it, because we're in a particular ecosystem that this thing is designed to run. Even if a part fail, there's another part that will come in and make sure it continues to run. And it makes no difference if it's running to optimum precision or if it's going to fail extreme. Either way it goes, it's still going to continue to keep going forth. So I would say more than anything that we need to start paying attention. Paying attention to, number one, the law, and pay attention to those who are doing everything they can to live that law. And be careful about the things that you allow to shake your mind and to come into your heart. Be very, very careful. And men, be men. Be men. And do not ever allow that which is not in authority to bear any rule whatsoever at all in Israel, because for sure the Spirit of Yah is not there. I think I've spoken to a lot of people and said quite a bit of things, and of course, if you are not Israel, you did not understand a word that I said, and it was not for you. And there's no need in trying to figure out what I'm saying, because I know that I just got finished speaking a total different language. Of if you're not open up, if your eyes are not open and your heart is not open, and you do not understand spiritual talk, you're probably looking at me flabbergasted. Trying to figure out what I'm saying. You can look at this video 1,000 times and still will not understand it, because it's a spiritual language for a spiritual people. Well, anyway, I hope that you are encouraged. I really, truly do. And I hope that we start paying attention to the things that come into our mind and our conscience. We're not so easily swayed by those. But more than anything, if you desire truth, make sure that truth resides and resonate in the inward parts, because we are a people that is entirely controlled by too many thoughts and too many feelings, too many innuendos, assumptions, and assertions. We're just, can we really truly say that we're really truly led and guided by the Spirit if we don't have any self-control, even of our own soul?